Captain Maya Rodriguez stood at the bridge of the ESS Horizon, watching the swirling nebula ahead with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. The exploration vessel's sensors had detected something unusual, artificial structures hidden within the cosmic clouds that shouldn't be there. Humanity had never encountered advanced alien life before, and this could be their first contact. "Captain, we're picking up energy signatures consistent with a civilization at least Class II on the Kardashev scale," reported Lieutenant James Wong from his station. His fingers danced across the holographic interface as he analyzed the incoming data. "These readings suggest they're far more advanced than us." Maya took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. The weight of humanity's first contact rested heavily upon them. "Send the standard greeting package on all frequencies. Let's show them we come in peace." The message had barely left their communication array when dozens of vessels materialized around them, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly iridescence. Each ship was easily 10 times the size of the Horizon, their designs defying human engineering principles. "By the stars," whispered Commander David Okafor, the ship's head of pseudoscience. "Those vessels appear to be using some form of quantum crystalline structure. Their technology must be centuries beyond ours." Before anyone could respond, a transmission cut through their communication system. The alien message translated itself somehow, the words appearing directly in their minds. "Primitive vessel, you have entered restricted space belonging to the Celestial Concordat. Your presence has been deemed hostile. Prepare for immediate neutralization." Maya's mind raced. This wasn't how first contact was supposed to go. "Open a channel," she ordered, keeping her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. "This is Captain Maya Rodriguez of the Earth ship Horizon. We are an exploration vessel on a peaceful mission. We mean no harm and request diplomatic dialogue." A harsh laugh echoed through their minds. Diplomatic dialogue? With creatures who still rely on verbal communication? Your species barely understands quantum mechanics, yet you dare to approach our sanctuary. The alien ships began to move into attack formation, their weapons charging with energy that made the Horizon's sensors scream in protest. Maya knew their shields wouldn't stand a chance against such advanced technology. But she also knew something else. Throughout human history, being underestimated had often been their greatest advantage. "All hands, battle stations," Maya commanded, her voice firm. "Initiate Protocol Omega." The crew looked at her with wide eyes. Protocol Omega was experimental, untested in real combat conditions. It represented humanity's latest breakthrough, the fusion of AI-driven quantum computing with human intuition. "Captain," protested Lieutenant Wong, "the system hasn't been fully calibrated. We don't know if." "We don't have a choice," Maya cut him off. "They think we're primitive. Let's show them why that's a dangerous assumption." As the alien vessels prepared to fire, Maya activated the quantum neural interface. The ship's systems merged with the crew's consciousness, creating a hybrid network of human intuition and machine precision. The Horizon's engines began to hum with a new frequency as experimental technology came online. The first alien shots fired, but the Horizon moved in ways that should have been impossible, its movements guided by the combined consciousness of its crew. The ship's computer systems began absorbing and analyzing the alien weapon signatures, adapting their shields in real time. "Impossible," the alien voice resonated in their minds again, this time tinged with confusion. "Your vessel's capabilities do not match our data on human technology." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "Perhaps your data needs updating. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to adapt and innovate in the face of overwhelming odds." The Horizon's systems continued to evolve, each moment bringing new insights into the alien technology. They weren't just surviving. They were learning, adapting, growing stronger. It was humanity's greatest advantage playing out on a cosmic scale, the ability to turn disadvantage into opportunity. As the alien ships regrouped for another attack, Maya knew this was just the beginning. The real challenge wouldn't be surviving their weapons. It would be convincing them that humanity deserved to be treated as equals in the cosmic community. And if they couldn't be convinced, well, humanity had a long history of overcoming seemingly impossible odds. High Admiral Vexthorian of the Celestial Concordat stared at the holographic display with his 4 eyes narrowed in disbelief. The human vessel's defensive patterns defied all strategic prediction algorithms, and their technology was evolving. In his 6 centuries of military service, he had never witnessed anything like it. "Impossible," he muttered, his crystalline exoskeleton shifting colors with his agitation. "Run another deep scan of their vessel. There must be some explanation for these anomalies." His science officer, Analyst Prime Ixel, interfaced directly with the fleet's quantum mainframe through her neural tendrils. "High Admiral, the scans reveal something unprecedented. Their ship's computational systems appear to be in a state of constant flux. They're not just adapting to our attacks, they're actively learning from them." The human vessel executed another seemingly impossible maneuver, phasing through space in a way that shouldn't have been achievable with their level of technology. Vexthorian's command staff watched in stunned silence as their latest volley of quantum torpedoes passed harmlessly through the space where the Earth ship had been milliseconds before. "How are they achieving this?" Vexthorian demanded. "Their civilization hasn't even mastered dark energy manipulation. They still use chemical rockets for planetary launches, for void's sake." Ixel's neural tendrils pulsed with excited energy. "High Admiral, I believe we may have made a critical error in our assessment. The humans aren't using technology in the way we understand it. They've somehow merged their biological neural networks with quantum computing systems. It's crude, but brilliant in its simplicity." A new transmission cut through their communications network. The human captain's voice emerged, transformed by their translation matrices into perfect Concordat standard. "This is Captain Rodriguez again. We've demonstrated that we can defend ourselves. But that's not our purpose here. We came seeking peaceful contact. Are you willing to talk now?" Vexthorian felt his secondary hearts skip a beat as his tactical display updated. The human vessel had somehow mapped their entire defense grid during the brief engagement. More importantly, they had identified 3 critical weaknesses in the Concordat's formation, weaknesses they hadn't exploited. "They're showing restraint," Ixel observed, her voice tinged with wonder. "They could have struck at our vulnerabilities, but they chose not to." The High Admiral's exoskeleton shifted to a deep blue of contemplation. The humans were nothing like the reports had suggested. Their approach to technology was completely alien to the Concordat's understanding. Organic, adaptive, almost intuitive. "Open a secure channel," he ordered, "and initiate Emergency Protocol 793. His second-in-command, Sub-Admiral Krell, jerked in surprise. "The first contact reformation protocol. But High Admiral, they're barely a Class Ia civilization." "Are they?" Vexthorian gestured at the display, showing the human ship's impossible performance metrics. "Look at how they've adapted to our attacks. They turned our own quantum wake signatures against us, created shields that learn from each hit, and developed countermeasures to weapons they'd never encountered before, all in the span of a few minutes." He stepped closer to the holographic projection, studying the peculiar vessel with newfound respect. "We assumed their technological development would follow the same path as every other species we've encountered. We were wrong. They've taken an entirely different approach, one we never considered possible." The human ship hung in space before them, its hybrid systems humming with potential. Their scans showed it was still adapting, still evolving, its merged human-AI network continuing to unlock new possibilities. "High Admiral," Ixel interrupted his thoughts, "I've completed my analysis of their neural interface system. It's remarkable. They're not just using AI to enhance their capabilities. They found a way to combine human creativity and intuition with machine learning in real time. The implications are staggering." Vexthorian made his decision. In all his years serving the Concordat, he'd never encountered a species that could surprise him like this. The humans weren't primitive, They were simply different, and perhaps that difference was exactly what the galaxy needed. Captain Rodriguez, he transmitted, his voice carrying the formal tones of diplomatic protocol. I am High Admiral Vexthorian of the Celestial Concordat. On behalf of our people, I apologize for our hostile response to your arrival. We made assumptions about your civilization that were clearly incorrect. There was a pause before the human captain responded, her voice carrying a note of cautious optimism. Apology accepted, High Admiral. Perhaps we could start over. We have much to learn from each other. As Vexthorian prepared to invite the human delegation aboard his flagship, he couldn't help but wonder what other surprises this young species had in store. One thing was certain. The galaxy was about to become a much more interesting place. The grand conference chamber aboard the Concordat flagship, Eternal Radiance, hummed with tension. Captain Maya Rodriguez sat across from High Admiral Vexthorian, their respective delegations arranged around a table that seemed to be made of living crystal. The surface rippled occasionally, displaying three-dimensional star charts and tactical data as they spoke. So you're saying? Maya leaned forward, her neural interface subtly adjusting to help her process the complex information being shared. That there's something out there in the dark space between galaxies, something that has even the Concordat worried. Vexthorian's exoskeleton shifted to a deep purple, a color Maya's diplomatic AI tagged as indicating grave concern. We've lost contact with 3 of our outer monitoring stations in the past solar cycle. The pattern of silence spreads like a wave, Captain. Whatever it is, it's approaching. Commander Okafor, who had been quietly analyzing the data through his own neural link, spoke up. These energy signatures, they're unlike anything in either of our databases. It's as if something is consuming the very fabric of space-time itself. Precisely, Ixel interjected, her neural tendrils weaving patterns of anxiety. Our most advanced quantum sensors can barely detect them. We've named them the Void Hunters, though we know nothing of their true nature or origins. Maya shared a meaningful look with Lieutenant Wong, who nodded and began interfacing more deeply with their ship's AI network. The Horizon's hybrid systems had been gathering data since the moment they entered the conference chamber, analyzing every scrap of information about this new threat. We might have something, Wong announced after a moment. Our adaptive algorithms have detected a pattern in the station blackouts. It's subtle, but there's a mathematical consistency to the timing. These aren't random attacks. Vexthorian's staff exchanged looks of surprise. The human ship's AI systems were processing data in ways their own quantum computers hadn't considered. Explain, the High Admiral commanded, his tone mixing authority with genuine curiosity. Maya activated the table's holographic display, allowing Wong to project their findings. The attacks follow a Fibonacci spiral when mapped in 4-dimensional spacetime. But here's the interesting part. There are micro-variations in the pattern that suggest they're communicating, Ixel finished, her neural tendrils flaring with sudden understanding. The attack pattern itself is a form of language. More than that, Maya added, her neural interface helping her visualize the complex data structures. We think they're searching for something. Each attack follows a precise geometric progression, like they're solving an enormous puzzle across the cosmos. Vexthorian's exoskeleton rippled with colors of deep thought. In all our millennia of advancement, we never considered looking for communication patterns within attack strategies themselves. Your species' ability to find novel perspectives continues to surprise us. It's because you've advanced too far in some ways, Maya explained diplomatically. Your technology is incredibly sophisticated, but it follows established patterns. Humans are still primitive enough to think outside conventional frameworks. The conference chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Void Hunters weren't just a threat. They were an intelligence operating on principles neither civilization fully understood. But perhaps the combination of Concordat's advanced technology and humanity's unconventional problem-solving could find a way to establish contact. There's something else, Wong added, his fingers dancing across his neural interface controls. We've been running simulations using both our AI systems and the Concordat's quantum computers. The next target in the pattern. It's Earth. The chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. Maya felt her heart race, but kept her expression calm. How long do we have? Based on their current progression, 3 standard months, Ixel answered, her calculations confirming Wang's prediction. Vexthorian rose to his full height, his exoskeleton now gleaming with the formal colors of a military declaration. Then we must prepare. The Concordat has never faced a threat of this magnitude, but perhaps that's because we needed humanity's unique perspective to understand it. We'll need to work fast, Maya agreed, her mind already racing with possibilities. Our neural interface technology could be adapted to your quantum systems. If we could combine our pattern recognition capabilities with your computational power. Yes, Ixel's neural tendrils pulsed with excitement, a hybrid defense network, merging human intuition with Concordat technology on a scale never before attempted. As the two delegations began hammering out the details of their cooperation, Maya couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and exhilaration. They were about to attempt something unprecedented, the full integration of 2 radically different approaches to technology and problem-solving. The fate of both their civilizations, and perhaps the galaxy itself, would depend on their success. The conference chamber's crystal table shimmered with increasingly complex projections as human and alien minds worked together, racing against time to prepare for an encounter with something that defied the understanding of both their species. The real question was, would their differences prove to be their greatest weakness or their greatest strength? The integration chamber aboard the Eternal Radiance looked like a cross between a meditation room and a quantum computing core. Captain Maya Rodriguez lay in a neural interface cradle, while Concordat technicians carefully adjusted crystalline resonators around her. The air hummed with energy as both human and alien technology worked in harmony to create something entirely new. Neural synchronization at 60% and climbing. Lieutenant Wang reported from his own interface station. The quantum field is stable, but these readings are unexpected. Ixel's neural tendrils waved in patterns of fascination as she monitored the merger of human and Concordat systems. The interaction between your neural interfaces and our quantum matrix is creating emergent patterns we've never seen before. It's as if the two technologies are evolving together. That's what we're counting on, Maya replied, trying to stay focused as her consciousness expanded into the hybrid network. The sensation was overwhelming, like having access to the processing power of 1,000 quantum computers while maintaining the intuitive creativity of the human mind. Suddenly, every display in the chamber flashed red. Warning signals blared in both human and Concordat frequencies. Multiple void signatures detected. Wang's voice carried an edge of panic. They're not waiting 3 months. They're here now. Through the hybrid network, Maya could see them. The void hunters emerged from subspace like tears in reality itself, massive structures that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Their ships, if they could be called that, defied conventional physics. This is impossible, Vexthorian declared, his exoskeleton cycling through colors of alarm. Our calculations were exactly what they wanted us to see, Maya finished, a hybrid network helping her understand. The Fibonacci pattern wasn't their attack strategy. It was their way of testing our response. They were studying us. The hybrid network suddenly pulsed with new information as the Void Hunters began transmitting. Through the combined power of human intuition and Concordat technology, Maya could finally begin to understand their true nature. They're not hunters, she gasped as the revelation hit her. They're archaeologists. The pattern they've been following. It's a star map from before the current universe. They're looking for something that existed in the previous cosmic cycle. Ixel's neural tendrils writhed with excitement. Of course, the quantum echoes we detected weren't weapons at all. They were scanning tools. They'd been excavating space-time itself. The hybrid network projected a new set of calculations, combining Concordat's vast astronomical databases with human pattern recognition. The result was staggering. The Void Hunter's path exactly matched the theoretical location of a previous universe's final moments before the Big Bang. They think whatever they're looking for survived the transition between universes, Wang realized, his voice filled with awe. That's why they shut down our monitoring stations. They were trying to reduce quantum interference with their archaeological scans. Maya focused the hybrid network's full power on attempting communication. The merged human Concordat technology created new protocols on the fly, adapting to the multidimensional nature of the Void Hunter's consciousness. A response came, not in words or data, but in concepts that the hybrid network translated into understanding. The Void Hunters were indeed seekers of knowledge, searching for artifacts of a civilization that had discovered how to survive the death and rebirth of the universe itself. They're not hostile, Maya announced, relief flooding through her. They're desperate. Whatever they're looking for, they believe it's crucial to preventing some kind of cosmic catastrophe. Vexthorian's exoskeleton shifted to colors of deep contemplation. Then perhaps this is an opportunity, not a crisis. If we can assist them in their search. We already are, Maya interrupted, the hybrid network showing her possibilities that neither human nor Concordat technology alone could have conceived. Look at how our merged systems are processing their data. We're seeing patterns they missed because we're combining two completely different ways of thinking about space, time, and reality itself. Through the hybrid network, Maya began sharing their insights with the Void Hunters. The response was immediate. A surge of multidimensional energy that their combined sensors interpreted as excitement. They want to work with us, she explained, smiling despite the neural interface's strain. Our different perspectives, combined with their advanced archaeological techniques, we might actually help them find what they're looking for. But even as hope bloomed, Maya felt a chill of apprehension through the hybrid network. The Void Hunter's next transmission carried a warning. They weren't the only ones searching for the ancient artifacts. Something else was coming. Something that wanted these relics of a dead universe not to preserve them, but to use them as weapons. The real test of human Concordat cooperation was just beginning. The vast expanse of space around Earth's solar system had become a gathering point for the most unlikely alliance in cosmic history. The crystalline ships of the celestial Concordat formed a defensive sphere around the system, their quantum shields shimmering with otherworldly energy. Alongside them, Earth's hastily assembled defense fleet looked primitive, but radiated with newly integrated hybrid technology. And weaving between them all, the ethereal multidimensional forms of the Void Hunters rippled like auroras in space. Captain Maya Rodriguez, now interfaced with both the human Concordat hybrid network and the Void Hunter's consciousness, felt the first tremors of the approaching enemy through multiple layers of reality simultaneously. "They're coming," she announced, her voice carrying through all communication channels at once. "The destroyers have found us." High Admiral Vexthorian's flagship pulsed with battle colors. Multiple quantum ruptures detected. Their numbers are significant. Through the hybrid network, Maya could see them emerging from subspace, dark, angular shapes that seemed to absorb both light and hope. The destroyers, as the Void Hunters had named them, were the antithesis of archaeology and preservation. They sought the ancient artifacts to unmake reality itself. "All ships, execute defense pattern Omega," Maya commanded. "Void Hunter units, begin your temporal scans. We need to find that artifact before they do." The hybrid network hummed with unprecedented power as three different civilizations' technologies worked in concert. Human neural networks provided intuitive leaps of logic, Concordat quantum systems supplied raw computational power, and the Void Hunters' multidimensional awareness gave them perspectives no single universe species could achieve. The first wave of destroyer ships struck their defensive line like a tide of darkness. Their weapons fired beams of pure entropy, designed to unravel the very fabric of space-time, energy signatures matching. Lieutenant Wang called out through the network, They're using corrupted versions of the same technology we're looking for. Maya felt a surge of understanding through the Void Hunter's consciousness link. The artifacts we're seeking, they're not just remnants of the previous universe. They're the tools that were used to preserve something through the cosmic renewal. Concordat vessels, adjust quantum shields to frequency 793. Vex Thorian ordered as another blast of entropy fire nearly breached their lines. Human vessels, your neural interfaces can predict their attack patterns. Guide our fire. The battle unfolded across multiple dimensions and realities. Human intuition predicted where the destroyers would strike. Concordat technology provided the means to fight back, and the Void Hunter's archaeological sensors continued their desperate search. Suddenly, the hybrid network blazed with discovery. Deep beneath the surface of Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon, something was responding to their scans. Something old. Impossibly old. That's it. Maya's consciousness expanded through the network, sharing the discovery with all their allies. The artifact survived the death of the previous universe by hiding in the quantum foam of spacetime itself. It's been waiting here since before our solar system formed. The destroyers sensed the discovery too. Their fleet surged toward Europa with terrifying purpose, entropy weapons charging for a final strike that would tear the moon apart. We can't let them reach it, Vex Thorian declared, his ship moving to intercept despite the devastating odds. Maya felt a plan forming in her mind, born from the merged perspectives of three civilizations. We don't have to fight them, she realized. We just have to think differently than they expect. Through the hybrid network, she shared her idea. The Void Hunters would use their archaeological techniques to create a temporal excavation field. The Concordat's quantum technology would stabilize it, and human neural interfaces would provide the creative spark needed to do something that had never been attempted before. All ships, synchronize your quantum fields with the Void Hunter's temporal matrix, Maya ordered. We're going to show them what happens when you combine the best aspects of three civilizations. The hybrid network surged with power as they executed their plan. The Void Hunters began their temporal excavation, carefully lifting the artifact not through space, but through layers of quantum reality. The Concordat's technology created a stable pocket of spacetime around it, and human consciousness guided the entire process with the one thing the destroyers couldn't predict: imagination. The artifact emerged into their reality, a crystalline sphere that somehow existed in all timelines simultaneously. Inside it, they could see the preserved wisdom of a civilization that had learned how to survive the death and rebirth of the universe itself. The destroyers' weapons proved useless against their combined defense. The artifact's activation sent waves of creative force through spacetime, showing them a fundamental truth. Destruction wasn't the answer to cosmic cycles. Preservation, adaptation, and cooperation were. As the destroyer's fleet began to retreat, Maya felt the hybrid network pulse with something new: hope, not just for their civilizations, but for all civilizations to come. The artifact doesn't just preserve knowledge, she shared through the network. It preserves possibility. The possibility that different species, different ways of thinking, different approaches to understanding reality, they can all work together to create something greater than the sum of their parts. The hybrid network hummed with agreement from all three civilizations. They had faced an impossible threat and prevailed not through superior firepower, but through the combined strength of their differences. As Earth's sun rose over Europa's icy surface, its light reflected off ships of crystal, metal, and dimensional energy, all working together to protect something precious: the possibility of a future where diversity of thought and approach wasn't just accepted, but celebrated as the universe's greatest strength.